In this video, I'll walk through a fixed speed attribute that I've added to the IGEMS post, which you can use. Find this particularly useful if you're trying to do smaller holes in material. So by smaller, I'd say material thickness and smaller in diameter. What you might find is with the speed changes that you'll get with the ramping, that you might get little deviations that are visible in the smaller circles. If you cut it with a fixed speed, probably find that you can smooth some of that out, and then also you can cut it at a slower speed to reduce the taper in the hole. So I've got this part programmed for 1/2 inch aluminum, and we're doing some 1/4 inch diameter holes in here. If we go into the material and edit the material, we have this fixed speed field up here, which normally is set to 39.37 by default. So what I'll generally do is set this to about 20% of my extra fine speed, and I find that that gives me a pretty vertical cut. As you get thinner and thicker, that ratio might change a little bit, but it's a good place to start in the typical range that people are doing water jet cutting. So this essentially gives you a 6th quality to choose from, and then if you actually want to use that, got our toolpath added here already. If we click on the edit button, click on the part, come down to the attribute area, and if it's not already there, which in this case it's not, you can click on the plus button here and just uppercase FS, and it'll add that to that cut, and then you can do the same thing to the other cuts. So then once it's in that pull down list, you can choose that. If you decide that you want to remove one of these attributes, to do that, just hit the pull down menu and just click on the blank field there, and then that removes that attribute. And then we can put it, of course, back on again. You might also find as you cut these holes at the slower fixed speed that they're going to get a little bit larger because you are traveling so slowly. So if that's the case, you can use this extra tool diameter field here to increase the tool offset on those holes. So if you cut the hole, found that it was 5 thousandths bigger, you can plug in 5 thou here, and if we zoom in on that hole, see that when I click out of that box, the toolpath moves in towards the inside to make that hole a little bit smaller by that amount. We can close this now. We can process this. Comes up with this little notification here to let you know that you've got a fixed feed rate in your part. If it comes up and says 39.37, then that'll clue you in that you haven't yet gone in there and set what you want to use for your fixed speed. And so now we'll see that it's going to cut this hole at the 1.6 inches per minute, so I'll do that for all 4 holes. So this can be useful for people that don't have a taper angle correction head like the Apex 60. Can also be used in conjunction with the Apex 60 head. You might actually find you get a better quality small hole doing this than sometimes with the taper angle correction. With the ramping and the very slight changes in the A and the C axes, again, you might see some little deviations on the back side of the cut, and this can help to smooth it out, and probably won't take much longer to cut it than if you did it with the taper angle correction turned on. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. Thanks.